What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I created these blue and yellow ombre nails with some pretty 3D flowers using a new polygel kit from Modelones. It's been a while since I reviewed a Modelones product, but this polygel kit really caught my eye because of the colors in it. It's their spring pastel polygel kit and the colors are really nice and bright, so I was all here for that because I love bright colors. So we're gonna go ahead and do an unboxing. This is a little manual that comes with the kit. This kit has 6 different shades in it. The bottles are 15 milliliter and this is what the little tube looks like. I'll be swatching them in a few, of course. And it also comes with some little dual forms for your nails. I don't really use these. I normally use tips, but they do look like they're pretty decent size. They don't look like they're too small or anything like that. I just like longer nails and those are kind of short for me. And there's also a polygel brush in here, of course. You have your little spatula on one side to place the polygel on your nail and then the gel brush on the other side. There's also a little bottle of slip solution in here and it's sealed so it doesn't like spill out or anything. And you also get a 100-180 grit nail file and then also a little bottle of top gel and a base coat. So this is what they look like, and the bottles are 7.5 milliliters. You also get a little mini UV LED lamp that says Modelones on it. It's pink and it plugs in by USB. The legs on these things are so hard for me to get open. I don't know if it's because of my nails or whatever, but I had to use like some scissors to pry them open. Some lamps, like the legs, are easy to open, but this one, it was really hard. Like I literally had to pry them open. But yeah, this is what it looks like when you open it up, and it also does come with its own little manual as well. Okay, so let's get into the swatches. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some slip solution, and the first color I'm swatching is number 315, and this is not really too much of a pastel shade. It's more of kind of like a Malibu blue shade. It's a really pretty blue. I love this shade of blue and I don't have it in a polygel color, so it's nice to have this color in polygel. And I accidentally squeezed it out too fast, so I had a couple bubbles in there, so I'm just going back and fixing it. It was hard for me to get the seals off, probably because of my nails, so they're still kind of on, so that's probably why that happened, but the rest of them were fine. This next color is number 302, and this is a nude pink shade. I feel like this is a good color to have in this kit in case you want to do like ombres or something like that, or French nails. It's good to use as a nail bed shade. So yeah, it's a really nice nude pink for all skin tones. This next color is number 290, and this is a really nice pink shade. It's not too light, it's pretty pigmented, so you don't have to worry about not being able to see the colors. You can see them pretty well. It's more like a Barbie pink. I really like this color as well. I like how the colors are spring colors, but they're not like so pale. Like I hate when spring colors are too pale to where you can't really see them or they look like washed out when you put them on. This next color is 299, and this is a teal blue shade. This is one of the blues I'll be using. This is my favorite one out of the whole kit. It's really pretty as well. This next one is number 298, and this is a pastel yellow, but it's still nice and pigmented. It's not super light. That's what I like about it. But yeah, like I was saying, I hate when pastel colors are so light that they almost look white, and then when you put them on, you kind of can't really see them that well. They kind of just like look white or make you look washed out. That's what I hate about certain pastel colors, but I like how these are in between. And this last color is 052, and this is a really nice purple shade. It's like a medium purple. The polygels are really nice and soft consistency. They don't have any bubbles or anything. And I did go ahead and cure them off camera for 60 seconds, and these are all the colors. If you guys are interested in this kit, you can click the link to my Amazon store, and under Polygel Kits you can purchase it. It's pretty affordable. So let's go ahead and get into this tutorial. Right now I'm applying my primer to my nails. I've already prepped my nails off camera. I'm using the 3XL stiletto nail tips that I normally use when I do stilettos. I have them linked in my Amazon store. But yeah, I prepped my nails off camera and I already dehydrated them. I did apply a little bit of pink acrylic to the tips of my nails. I did a soak off. I'm just going to use that to file this set down the next time I do my nails. But yeah, I applied a thin layer of base gel to all my nails. Since we're doing polygel, it's going to give that polygel something to stick onto so you don't get lifting. So this is going to be an ombre set. I'm basically using 3 colors and like mixing them up on each nail to give the nails a different look. I'm using all the blues and the yellow shade. So I'm applying the pastel yellow shade to the tips of these 2 nails, and I'm going to cure that before going in with the top color for the ombre. I feel like it's best to do it this way. It was a little bit warm in my nail room, so that's why the polygel is a little bit softer than usual. So I was having an issue with that, but it's because it was like kept in a hot place for a while. I probably could have put it in the freezer to make them a little more firm, but it was kind of too late at this point, so it is what it is. But yeah, I was having a little bit of issue with that later on in the video, but it managed to work out in the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds. So on this nail, I'm going to be applying that like Malibu blue shade, and on the ring finger, I'm going to be applying the teal shade. One thing I did want to mention when you're applying the colors to the tips of your nail for the ombre is that when you brush them out, where the tip and the natural nail meet, you want to thin that out really good by like brushing the polygel upward, so that when you go in with the top color for the ombre, you don't have like a big lump there and the colors blend a little bit better. So now I'm going to go in with the top color for the ombres. On this nail, I'm going to be using the teal shade. And since my polygel was a little bit too soft, it was giving me a little bit of an issue, but I managed to make it work. I kind of had to like brush it over the tip and kind of like remove some of it in order to blend it, but it kind of helped to blend the colors a little bit better. On some of them, I did have to go in twice over the color just because like it wasn't really blending that well for that reason, because I had to kind of brush some of it off and it was kind of like giving me an issue because of the fact of how soft it was. But like I said, I managed to make it work. But as you can see, it's kind of like giving me a patch right there. So instead of me going on and messing with it, I just decided to cure it and then just go in with a second layer over that, and it helped just kind of bring the color out more so that there was no patches in it. But I recommend kind of like starting around the cuticle and then blending it where the tip and the natural nail meet. But in this case, I kind of had to like, you know, blend it over the tip and kind of remove some of it just because it kept like running everywhere. It was like really soft. I must have had it like stored in my cabinet for too long because it was like really warm. And when polygel gets warm, it gets like super soft and starts running into the cuticle. That's another reason why I'm doing one nail at a time. So on this nail, I'm going to be using the pastel yellow as a top color for the ombre, and on this one I'm using the Malibu blue shade. Now the one with the yellow was a little bit difficult because of the color difference. This color is way lighter than the tip color, so I did have to go in with a second layer because of that, to build up the color, because you really couldn't see it. And again, I kind of found it easier to kind of like brush some of it off over the tip of the nail, because I don't know, it kind of did do something like help blend them a little bit better. But it was also because the polygel was really runny and like not really doing what I wanted it to do. As you can see, like when I'm trying to brush it, it's like getting patchy and stuff. But what do we always do? We always make it work. So that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of like brushing it off because I did apply like way too much. Like I don't know what I was thinking, but I was thinking that it was going to blend better, but then I forgot like how runny it was going to be, and it was kind of like a big mess. But we're gonna get it under control in a little bit. It's just kind of like working with it. And I did make the mistake of trying to do both of them at the same time, which I don't recommend if your polygel is soft, because I had to like keep wiping the cuticle area to prevent it from running into the cuticle area. But yeah, this one was a little bit easier. I did get the blend on the first try, but like I said, I applied a little bit too much, so I'm like brushing some of it off, like removing it, and then eventually I blend it pretty good. But as you can see, when I remove that, I can blend it a little bit better. So as you can see, I'm going in with a little bit more yellow over this nail just to bring the yellow out more and make it a little more pigmented, because the difference in color between these two is obviously a very big difference. The blue is way darker and the yellow is way lighter, so it takes some working with it, but it was pretty easy just to brush it over the previous layer. I applied a little less, so I didn't have that same issue as before with it like running, so it was a little bit easier, even though I had to like kind of brush it and it was still kind of almost giving me a patch, but I kind of caught it before I brushed it down any farther. So that one came out good. And then I'm just gonna do the ombre with the teal on this nail, which I didn't have to go in with 2 layers on this one. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate these nails with some Mia's Secret clear acrylic. At this point, I was kind of tired of messing with the polygel, so it's faster for me to just do it with acrylic. So that's what I'm going to do. On this nail, I did a 2 bead method because I had to go back in and add a little bit more of the teal polygel, so I didn't want to add too much clear acrylic to make the nails bulky, so 2 beads was enough to encapsulate this nail. But on the other ones, I did my 3 bead method and then just kind of like look at the nail and see if I need to add in a little bit of acrylic. It all depends. You kind of have to like be the judge of how much you need. I applied less to this nail because I already went in with a second layer of the teal shade. So I'm doing my 3B method, building up the free edge of the nail first, and then I apply a second bead where the tip and the natural nail meet to start building the apex. And then the third bead is the cuticle bead, which I use to further build the apex. And you just want to focus the acrylic where you put it so that you're not brushing it out of the area that you put it in, because then it kind of doesn't like build up the area that you want it to. And I always stick with the 3 bead method, but like I mentioned, I might have to go back in and add a little bit more, but I always stick with that and then look at the nail. And if I see like a little dip in the side of the nail, I kind of just add in the acrylic. And I'm also using that other monomer that kind of dries a little bit fast, so bear with me while I try to like brush it out as fast as I can. It's like one thing after another, but I don't know how this set ended up looking cute, but it did. But as you can see, it was definitely a struggle to get there.
Winnie.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and shape up the nails. They didn't turn out too bad, judging all of the issues I ran in along the way. So I'm gonna start around the cuticle area and file around the cuticle area to go ahead and seal that. And then I just kind of like smooth over the nails. I go side to side with my drill and smooth over the nail to make sure there's no bumps or anything. And I file along the side walls, also underneath the nail and along the sides to kind of redefine the shape before I hand file them. So you want to make sure that the cuticle area is very thin to the nail bed so that there's no like product raised up, because that will cause lifting. You also want the little hill, like when I turn my hand to the side, as you can see, the little hill, that's your apex. And then you should have some thickness at the free edge, like it will get gradually thinner towards the free edge, but there's still some thickness there so that they don't break off. And then when you look down the barrel of your nail, the sidewalls should be thin, the thinnest part of your nail.
Winnie.
To shape up the nails, I'm going to use a 100-180 grit nail file. So I'm going to hold my file at an angle and file in towards the tip of my nail, and that's how you get the stiletto shape. And you just keep filing in towards the tip until you're satisfied with like how pointy you want the tip. If you want them really pointy, you'll file in a lot. If you want them like me, you'll kind of file them inward and then kind of round off the tip at the bottom. That's what I usually do, so they're not like so sharp. And it usually works out better. They last longer in my opinion when they're not like super thin and pointy, because the tips on stilettos tend to break off if they're a little bit too pointy from experience. So that's what I do. And then after I'm done filing the nails, I buff out the scratches.
Ringy. Ringy.
Okay, so now that the nails are filed and shaped, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my charms. I have this little set of different color flowers. I do have it linked in my Amazon store. If you guys are interested, it's under the category nail art. So what I'm doing, like on this nail, I ended up changing it to teal and yellow. I'm basically applying the flowers to match whatever color ombre I did on the nails. So on this one, I'm doing teal and yellow. On the next one, I'm doing blue and yellow. And then so on, like just to match the colors of the ombre. At first I was just gonna do teal on this nail, but then when I got to the next one, I did the two colors and I thought it looked more pretty and unique, so I ended up changing it. But I'm using some of my rhinestone gel to apply them. It holds them really good so they don't fall off. So I'm gonna apply the flowers first, and then I'm gonna apply a little bit of gel into the middle of the flowers, and I'm gonna apply the little gold caviar beads for the middle of the flower. It just brings them out more so you notice them, and they looked really cute in the end. I love the way they turned out, judging how much struggle I had to go through to get them to look like this. But that's because my polygel was too warm. I don't think it would have been like that if it wasn't as warm as it was. So after I apply the flowers, I'm just gonna top coat all the nails with the top gel that came from the kit, and that's pretty much all I do. I hope you guys like this set. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you leave. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Love you guys.
Ringy. Rainy. 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 Rainy.